Max Verstappen said his priority following the Austrian Grand Prix was clearing the air, with Lando Norris after the pair collided while fighting for the lead of the race. Verstappen and Norris, who were close friends away from the track, both suffered punctures after they touched wheels while fighting for position with 7 laps remaining. Asked in the immediate aftermath if the collision would impact their relationship, Norris said, "It depends what he says. If he says he did nothing wrong, then I will lose a lot of respect for that." The two drivers spoke on the Monday following the race and again on Wednesday, with Norris admitting ahead of this weekend's British Grand Prix that he overreacted and there was no need for Verstappen to apologise. When Verstappen was asked about the aftermath, he said his main concern was to ensure their friendship had not been impacted by the collision. "The only thing that I cared about is maintaining my relationship with Lando because we are great friends," Verstappen said. "That for me, after the race, I said we have to just let things cool down because emotions run high." We immediately spoke on Monday, and I think we came to the conclusion that we actually really enjoyed our battle. We looked at the incident. It was such a silly little touch that of course had great consequences for both of us, and a bit more for Lando with how the puncture then evolved. "But we like to race hard," Verstappen continued. "We agreed with 99% of everything. That's a lot, I think, already. And naturally, I said to Lando, when you go for moves up the inside, outside, you can trust me that I'm not there to crash you out of the way. The same the other way around, because we spoke about that as well." Asked about the criticism he received, Verstappen added, "I don't give a s about that. I go home, I live my life. The only thing that I cared about was my relationship to Lando." Verstappen, who received a 10-second penalty for the collision, went on to defend his approach to racing, saying all winners push the boundaries of the regulations, and it was only normal to defend in the manner he did in Austria. "Naturally, there's always a human reaction when someone dives up the inside or outside, but you have a bit of a reaction to it. But I felt everything that I did was nothing massively over the top. Of course, it's like how you design the car, you try to go to the edge of the rules," Verstappen continued. "Maybe you find some grey areas here and there, and that's the same how you race. Otherwise, you will never be a top driver and you will never succeed in life anyway." Verstappen went on to play down the comments made in the immediate aftermath of the accident. "I know, of course, Lando, he's a great guy, he's a really nice person who loves Formula One, of course he loves racing," Verstappen said. "He's just very passionate about it. Naturally, of course, after the race, you also have to realise he's fighting for his second potential win. I'm fighting for my 60-second win. Naturally, your emotions are a little bit different. I know that from myself when I was fighting for these first wins in F1. But that's fine, that's why I also tell him just let it cool off a bit and we'll talk tomorrow." The Hamilton news was confirmed at the end of January and several months of speculation about signs have followed without resolution. Lando Norris has said there is no need for Max Verstappen to apologise for their collision at the Austrian Grand Prix after admitting he overreacted. When speaking to the media after the race, Norris and Verstappen collided while fighting for the lead at the Red Bull Ring last weekend, resulting in both cars suffering punctures and Norris retiring from the race. Verstappen received a 10-second penalty after the stewards deemed him predominantly to blame for causing the collision, while Norris labelled the Red Bull driver's actions as Norris made 4 attempts to pass Verstappen, one on lap 55 that Verstappen blocked by moving under braking, a second on lap 59 that saw Norris run wide and off the track, a third on lap 63 that saw Verstappen run wide and retain the position, and the fourth on lap 64 when they collided. The stewards found Verstappen predominantly to blame for the collision, saying before turning in, the driver of car 1 turned to the left, i.e., the outside of the track where Norris' car was positioned. A 10-second time penalty was issued to Verstappen after he rejoined the race from the pits, although it made no difference to his 5th-place finishing position at the end of the race. Verstappen's Red Bull had looked increasingly dominant over the course of the Austrian Grand Prix weekend, winning Saturday's sprint race and then securing pole position ahead of Norris by 0.4 seconds in qualifying. The 8-second lead he built up in the first half of the race was eroded slightly when he hit traffic ahead of his final tyre change, but he still entered the pits with a commanding margin over Norris. And I think the move that we got together was something that I didn't expect because I saw him coming. I had the front a little bit on the inside, and then under braking we touched the rear tyres and we both got a puncture from it, which is of course something you don't want to happen. Racing Formula One cars in a fair manner requires a degree of cooperation. In blocking Norris under braking on the first attempt on lap 55, Verstappen set the tone for the battle to come. Norris then had to adapt how early he telegraphed his moves and refine how late he stood on the brakes. In Verstappen's eyes, that then meant the McLaren was dive-bombing an accusation laden with irony given his own late-breaking moves in his career, and it upped the stakes again. Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on more videos like this. See you next time.